Can the government take your house if you don't pay your taxes? Well, the short answer is yes, but it's a process, but it's not a surprise. That's what I'm talking about today. Stick around. Hi, welcome back. My name's Joe Brown. I'm a real estate agent with Century 21, List with Beggins, located in South Tampa. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So, as I said in the beginning, the government can't take your house if you don't pay taxes. This is very important, so please watch this video, share it with everybody you know. Later in this video, I'm going to share some data which may surprise you. It surprised me, right? So let's just talk about the whole concept of tax liens and how they get put in place and so forth. So, as we know, if we're a homeowner, we get our tax bill in October. And if we pay the bill by the end of November, we actually get a discount for paying early. Well, the absolute deadline to pay taxes is March 31st of every year, March 31st. If taxes aren't paid by March 31st, so here, let me stop right there. Let's put this out there. The government wants their tax money, okay? The Hillsborough County wants their tax money. And rightly so. Think about all they do, whether it's the road work, sewer, repairs, whatever. They need the tax money for the infrastructure and for the services that the county provides. So, yes, we get it. They want their tax money. So if taxes aren't unpaid by March 31st, a penalty is assessed. So now it's a 3% penalty on top of the taxes. And notices are sent out. Hey, your property taxes are delinquent. You need to pay your property taxes. Do you know how many delinquent notices were sent last year? 490,000 notices. That's how many people were delinquent in paying their taxes. But then, what's the next step? Out of those 490,000, many of them said, oh, geez, I forgot to pay taxes. And so they step up and they pay their tax bill. There are still some people who haven't paid their tax bill. And so the county will then take it to an auction in May, and it's called a tax lien certificate. And it's an auction, right? So let's say it's a $5,000 tax bill, and it's a bid down system. Somebody will say, I will pay the taxes of $5,000, and I will take 18% return. Somebody else will say, well, I'll pay the taxes, and I'll just take a 16% return. Oh, I'll do it for 12%. I'll do it for 8%. I'll do it for 3%. Somebody will even say, believe it or not, I will pay the taxes for 0.25% interest. You say, wow, right? So I'll come back to that point. But that's what happens. If the homeowner is not going to pay their taxes, they take it to auction, and there are investors out there willing to pay the taxes for the return of not only what they pay for taxes, but also the interest. The county is happy because the county gets the money they need for their services. The investor is happy because they now have an investment that will return interest. Well, is that it? Well, the homeowner, let's say the homeowner decides, oh, I never paid taxes from last year. I need to pay taxes. So not only do they have to pay the $5,000 or whatever the tax bill is, they also have to pay the interest. Not only remember, if you didn't pay taxes, there was a penalty of 3%. Now they have to pay interest on top of that. For the homeowner, here's what happens. The homeowner cannot sell the house and cannot refinance because there's a lien against the house. And that lien has to be paid off before the house can be sold or refinanced. Got that? So let's say it goes to the second year, and again, taxes aren't paid, delinquency notices are sent, tax still not paid. So now, again, those taxes go to an auction, and investors will bid for taxes, right? I'll pay the tax bill 18%, 16%, 12%, 8%, 3%, right? It doesn't have to be the same person as the year before. It could be somebody totally different. Well, in Hillsborough County, if taxes, so somebody has a tax lien, they have to hold it at least 2 years, right? So the homeowner has 2 years to pay the delinquent taxes and the interest. After 2 years, the investor can say, you know what, I want my money. And they can petition the county to put the house up for sale at what's called a tax deed auction. Tax deed auction. And so just like other auctions, anybody can bid on the house. Doesn't have to be the people holding the tax lien certificates. Anybody can bid on the house. Whoever bids on the house, highest bidder, has to pay off the tax liens, and the homeowner is going to have to vacate the property, right? So it's a process. It's not a surprise because they've gotten tax bill, they've got delinquency notices, they've got notices that, hey, your house is being auctioned because you haven't paid taxes. This is very, very serious. I go back to what I said at the beginning. This is important. Please share this because I told you 490,000 delinquency notices were sent out for the 2024 taxes. Out of those, 17,950 tax deeds were sold. 17,461. I wrote it down. 17,491 tax deeds were sold for people not paying taxes. Right? So this is real. What we're now, and this is why this video right now is so important. We're in the middle of May. We have just a couple weeks. If people are delinquent on taxes, they need to pay the tax bill right now. The county estimates another 17,000 to 18,000 tax deeds will be sold in May. Right? So this is important. When tax deeds are sold, it starts a clock. And in 2 years, those people holding the certificates can file for a tax deed auction, meaning the house is sold. Which means some people living in houses may have to move out, and the house is sold out from under them. So, if you are a homeowner, right, you have a responsibility to pay taxes. Now, in most cases right now, if you have a mortgage, the mortgage company is collecting money through escrow to pay property taxes. If you receive delinquency notices, pay the taxes. Now, if you say, I don't have the money, you know what? Call the property appraiser office. Call the taxing office and make plans, put in payment plans, right? That there's also legal help available for people going through this process. Listen, me as a real estate agent, me as your neighbor, I don't want anybody to lose their house because of this situation. That's why I'm making this video. I want you to be aware of the seriousness of paying taxes, getting the help you need. The county will work with you if you make payment plans, right? Now, and just realize if you don't pay taxes, taxes are X percent. If you don't pay taxes, well, you pay X plus interest, and then X plus interest. And so you have a growing debt issue. Now, here's the thing. If you're an investor and you say, well, I will pay taxes and get the interest. And I gave you the example of bidding starts at 18%, goes all the way down to I'll take it for 0.25%. Well, you think, why would somebody do that? Because by state law, state of Florida law, the minimum interest paid for tax lien is 5%. So if I'm an investor and I say, oh, I'll pay this tax for only 0.25%, but when it's time to get paid out, I get paid out 5%. That's why investors will do this, right? They're getting 5% return on their money at some point, right? It could be within 2 years, it could be within a few months. This is an important issue, right? We know if 490,000 delinquent notices were sent out, and out of those, 17,490 liens were sold to investors, it is an issue that has to be addressed. I think some people are just oblivious. They don't know. Some people are really in financial straits and they don't have the money, and so they don't seek help. And then I think there are some people that just don't care about paying taxes, right? And that's a shame because the community suffers for that. So please research this topic. Reach out to me, joebrownc21.com. I can certainly walk you through some of the process. I can guide you to different resources to help you if you're in this situation. So please, I want to be your trusted advisor, and I'm trying to help homeowners in this community protect their house and keep their house, protect their family. So please reach out to me. Go to my website, joebrownc21.com. Also, my other website, joebrown.live. I have a blog posted just about this topic. So please go. You can read more information. There are some resources there for you to check out. But thank you so much for being here with me today. And until next week, take care.